Jacob Pierce stood on the bridge of his ship and looked at the stars ahead. He was an admiral in Earth's Space Navy, and today was the most important day of his life. His ship, the ESS Valiant, was traveling to Council Prime. This was the place where all the alien races met to talk about galaxy business. Earth was finally going to join them. Next to Jacob stood Linda Morrison. She was Earth's ambassador, which meant she would do all the talking with the aliens. She looked nervous as she read her notes on a small computer pad. They were only 3 days away from reaching the giant space station where the council met. Linda looked up from her pad and asked Jacob a question. "Do you think they will help us with the Zinthari problem?" Jacob nodded his head slowly. "The council promised to protect all member species. That is why we want to join them. The Zinthari have been attacking our colonies for months now. The Zinthari were an alien race that looked like giant bugs. They were mean and liked to fight. They had been hitting human colonies on the edge of space, killing thousands of people. Earth needed help from the council to stop them. The crew worked all around Jacob and Linda. Everyone seemed excited but also worried. All of Earth was watching them on TV and the internet. This was a big deal for humanity. They had worked for decades to prove they were good enough to join the aliens in the council. A man named Peter Hayes walked up to Jacob. Peter was the commander who handled all the weapons and fighting stuff on the ship. He looked concerned about something. "Admiral, we are getting emergency calls from the border colonies," Peter said. "The Zinthari hit 3 more colonies in the last 6 hours. Jacob's face became hard and angry. "How many people died?" "They think about 50,000 are dead, sir. The Zinthari are not taking prisoners. They are just killing everyone." Linda's face went white. "We need to tell the council right now. They have to send their warships to help our colonies." "I already sent the message," Peter said. "We should hear back from them in about an hour." But when the council finally answered, it was not good news. An alien named Thaxor appeared on the big TV screen. He looked like a giant insect with many eyes. A computer voice translated his bug sounds into English. He did not sound happy to talk to them. "Ambassador Morrison, Admiral Pierce, the council has looked at your problem with the Zinthari," Thaxor said in a flat voice. "Then you will send help?" Linda asked with hope in her voice. "The council has decided that we cannot help you right now. The Zinthari say that you built colonies in space that belongs to them. This is a fight between you and them. The council cannot get involved." Jacob stepped closer to the screen. His voice was angry. "Those worlds have been human colonies for 15 years. The Zinthari only said they owned them after we found valuable minerals there." Thaxor's many eyes did not show any feeling. "The council must stay neutral when member species fight with non-member species. After Earth joins the council in 3 days, we can start peace talks." "Peace talks?" Linda's voice got loud. "They are murdering innocent people. We need soldiers and ships, not talks. The council's decision is final, Ambassador. We look forward to seeing you in 3 days." The screen went black. Jacob and Linda looked at each other. Something felt very wrong about this whole situation. "Get me a connection to Earth Command," Jacob told his crew. "Make it private and use the strongest security we have." While Peter worked on setting up the call, Linda walked back and forth on the bridge. "Jacob, what if this is a test? What if they want to see how we handle problems before they let us join?" "If it is a test, then it is a test that costs human lives," Jacob said. "And I do not like it at all." The face of Chris Bennett appeared on the screen. Chris was the fleet admiral, which meant he was the boss of all Earth spaceships. He looked tired and stressed. "Jacob, I was about to call you." "Things are getting worse fast," Chris said. "We know, sir." "The council said they will not help us." Chris nodded. "I am not surprised. We have been getting intelligence reports that worry me. The Zinthari are not acting alone. Their attack patterns show they know about our colony defenses. They know things that only council members would know." "You think someone in the council is helping the Zinthari?" Linda asked. She looked shocked. "I think someone in the council is using the Zinthari as a weapon against us," Chris said. "Jacob, I am ordering you to keep going to Council Prime like we planned. But be very careful. Something about this whole thing smells bad. I am getting the home fleet ready. If the council will not protect our people, then we will do it ourselves." "Understood, sir. We will try to learn what we can from the inside." When the call ended, Jacob stared at the stars outside the window. Humanity had dreamed about joining the alien races for so long. Now that dream was starting to feel like a trap. "Admiral," the pilot called out, "we are getting another update from the colonies. The Zinthari destroyed the terraforming stations on New Boston. That is 40,000 more dead people. Jacob closed his eyes for a moment. When he opened them again, his face showed cold anger. Keep flying to Council Prime, but turn on all our weapons and keep them ready. I want to be ready for anything. Sir, that might send the wrong message to the Council, Linda said carefully. Ambassador, right now I care more about keeping this ship and crew alive than I care about messages. We are flying into a trap and I plan to fly back out of it. The ESS Valiant kept moving toward Council Prime. Nobody on the ship knew just how right Jacob was about the trap. They did not know how much blood would be spilled before they learned the truth. The Council had made a big mistake. They thought humans were weak and easy to control. They were about to learn that humans are most dangerous when someone tries to hurt them. The diplomatic mission was supposed to be the start of a beautiful friendship between Earth and the galaxy. Instead, it would be the start of a war that would change everything forever. The ESS Valiant came out of hyperspace and everyone on the bridge could see Council Prime in the distance. The space station was huge, shaped like a giant wheel. It was 300 kilometers across. Thousands of alien ships floated around it, showing how powerful and important the Council was. We are getting docking instructions, said Karen Ross from the communications station. They want us to park at berth 17 on the upper ring. Admiral Jacob Pierce looked at the tactical display on his screen. Something did not feel right about where they wanted him to park his ship. Peter, check that docking berth. What is around it? Commander Peter Hayes typed quickly on his computer.
It is away from the main diplomatic areas.
There are only 3 corridors leading to it, and they can all be sealed shut from far away. And sir, I am picking up strange energy readings from the nearby berths. What kind of energy? Weapons, sir, big ones. There are at least 6 warships positioned around berth 17, and all their reactors are running hot like they are ready to fight. Linda Morrison came over to them. Her diplomatic robes made a soft sound as she walked. That is strange. Council rules say armed ships cannot be in the diplomatic ring. Unless they are planning something bad, Jacob said quietly. Karen, send a message to Earth Command. Tell them what we suspect. If we do not check in every 4 hours, they should assume something went wrong. Already done, sir, Karen confirmed. As the Valiant got closer to its parking spot, everyone on the ship felt tense. Jacob had ordered all crew members to battle stations, pretending it was just a drill. But everyone knew it was not a drill. The docking clamps grabbed the ship with loud metal sounds. Jacob straightened his uniform. Linda, you come with me. Peter, you are in charge of the ship. If anything goes wrong, get this ship out of here. Do not wait for us. Sir, I cannot leave you behind, Peter said. That is an order, Commander. The information we have collected needs to get back to Earth. That is more important than any of our lives. Jacob and Linda walked to the airlock with 8 Marines following them. The Marines were led by Lieutenant Danny Cole. When the airlock door opened, they knew immediately that something was wrong. Instead of Council diplomats waiting for them, there were Zinthari warriors. The bug aliens wore shiny armor and held weapons pointed at the humans. This is a diplomatic ship, Linda said in a strong voice. Under galactic law, we are supposed to be protected and safe. A new person came out from behind the Zinthari. It was Thaxor, the same council member who had refused to help Earth's colonies. Ambassador Morrison, Admiral Pierce. There has been a change in plans. What kind of change? Jacob's hand moved slowly toward his gun. The Council has looked at Earth's application again. We have decided you are not good enough to join. Your species is too aggressive and too unpredictable. We have decided to deny your application forever. Linda's eyes went wide. You cannot do that. We have met every requirement. We passed every test. Thaxor's bug mouth made clicking sounds that the translator turned into laughter. You do not understand. This is not about requirements. This is about keeping humanity contained. You see, the Zinthari have been helping us with this plan. In exchange for getting all of your colony worlds, they agreed to make sure Earth never becomes a threat to Council interests. Jacob suddenly understood everything. You gave them our defense codes. You told them when and where to attack. Your species showed too much promise, Thaxor continued. In another 100 years, you might have challenged Council authority. Better to kill you now while you are still weak. The Zinthari will destroy your colonies, and you two will be examples of what happens to species who think they are too important. Soon the Zinthari fleet will attack Earth itself. Jacob's voice was cold as ice. You have made a big mistake, have I? Your ship is surrounded. Your colonies are burning. Earth stands alone. Soon it will all be over. Where is the mistake? Danny Cole and the Marines had slowly moved into better positions while Thaxor was talking. When Jacob gave a small nod, they started fighting. The corridor exploded with gunfire. The Marines had better armor and better training, but there were too many enemies. Jacob grabbed Linda and pulled her back toward the airlock while Danny shot at the Zinthari to cover them. "Valiant, this is Pierce," Jacob shouted into his radio. "We are under attack. Disconnect from the station and get ready to jump to hyperspace." "Sir, we cannot leave you," Peter's voice came back through static. "That is an order, Commander. Get back to Earth. Tell them the Council has joined with the Zinthari. They are planning to destroy us all." On the bridge of the Valiant, Peter made the hardest choice of his life. Release the docking clamps. Put all power to shields and engines. Get ready for emergency jump. Warning sirens screamed through the station as the Valiant tore free from where it was parked. The warships around it immediately started shooting, but the human ship's shields held. Back in the corridor, Jacob and his team fought hard to get back to their ship. Danny fell first when a plasma blast hit him. He had jumped in front of the shot to save Linda. 2 more Marines died covering everyone else as they ran. "Admiral, the ship is pulling away," one of the surviving Marines shouted. "Keep moving," Jacob ordered, even though his heart hurt. They were trapped. The Valiant's engines glowed bright blue as it accelerated away from the station. Council warships chased it, but Peter had planned a course through the busiest traffic lanes. Civilian ships scattered everywhere as the chase went through them. "Jump in 30 seconds, the pilot announced. An energy beam hit the Valiant's left side. The shields flared with light. "Shields at 40%, Karen reported. "Jump now," Peter commanded. Reality twisted and bent as the Valiant entered hyperspace, leaving Council Prime and its betrayal behind. But it also left Admiral Jacob Pierce, Ambassador Linda Morrison, and 6 brave Marines in enemy hands. On the station, Thaxor stood over the captured humans. "Take them to the prison level. They will be useful for propaganda when we broadcast Earth's surrender." Jacob looked at him without any fear in his eyes. "You have no idea what you just did. When Earth finds out about this, when our fleets arrive, there will not be a council left to surrender to." "Big words for a prisoner," Thaxor replied. "But they mean nothing. Your Earth command does not have the strength to fight the council. It is over, Admiral. Humanity's dream of reaching the stars dies here." Jacob smiled, but it was a cold smile without happiness. "You really do not know anything about humans, do you? We are most dangerous when someone tells us what we cannot do." As the Marines were led away to prison, none of the council members understood how big their mistake was. They had not only betrayed humanity, they had given Earth something it never had before, a united purpose and righteous anger. The Valiant was racing home with proof of the council's betrayal. When that proof reached Earth, the galaxy would learn what humanity was truly capable of when pushed too far. The council thought they were eliminating a threat. Instead, they had created a monster that would hunt them down. The war had begun, and it would not end until Earth got justice for its murdered colonists and captured soldiers. The age of diplomacy was over. The age of war had begun. The Valiant came out of hyperspace near Earth. The ship looked terrible. Its hull was damaged and its shields were almost dead. Commander Peter Hayes had pushed the ship as hard as it could go. Now it limped toward the orbital defense grid that protected humanity's homeworld. "Open all channels, highest priority," Peter ordered. "This is the ESS Valiant requesting immediate secure link with Fleet Admiral Chris Bennett. We have critical intelligence about Council Prime and Admiral Pierce." Within minutes, Peter was in a holographic meeting with Earth's entire military leadership. The war room was packed with admirals, generals, and government officials. The President herself, Margaret Flynn, had joined the emergency meeting. "Commander Hayes, report," Fleet Admiral Bennett demanded. Peter took a deep breath and told them everything. The Council's betrayal, the ambush at Council Prime, the alliance with the Zinthari, the capture of Admiral Pierce, Ambassador Morrison, and their security team. And worst of all, the plan to destroy Earth. The room became completely silent when he finished talking. President Flynn spoke first. Her voice was controlled, but everyone could hear the anger underneath. "You are telling me the Galactic Council has been helping the Zinthari attack our colonies? And they plan to destroy Earth?" "Yes, Madam President. We have sensor logs, recorded communications, and testimony. It is all in my report." "And Jacob Pierce is their prisoner?" "Yes, ma'am." Admiral Bennett leaned forward. "How long do we have before the Zinthari attack Earth?" "Based on their fleet movements, maybe 2 weeks. But they are hitting our outer colonies hard right now. New Seattle fell yesterday. New Portland is under attack. We have lost over 500,000 civilians in the past week. One of the other admirals, Frank Cooper, spoke up. We need to bring back all our ships and make Earth's defenses stronger. If we put all our forces here, we can hold out until we can negotiate something. Negotiate? President Flynn's eyes flashed with anger. Admiral Cooper, they made it clear they do not want to negotiate. They want us all dead. Then what do you want us to do, Madam President? Margaret Flynn stood up. Her presence commanded the entire room. Gentlemen and ladies, we have just been told that we have no friends in the galaxy. They want us dead or enslaved. They attacked our people, kidnapped our representatives, and declared war on humanity without even telling us. She paused and looked each person in the eye. I propose we show them what humanity does to those who threaten our existence. Admiral Bennett, what is the status of the home fleet? Chris Bennett pulled up a holographic display showing ships. We have 247 capital ships ready to fight. Another 100 are almost finished being built. We have the 1st through 5th fleets at full strength, plus all the colonial defense groups we can call back. And the new ships, the Dreadnought program, the ESS Titan and ESS Goliath are complete. We finished testing them last month. They are the most powerful warships ever built by humans. President Flynn nodded. How long to get everything ready to fight? 72 hours for full deployment, but ma'am, if we leave Earth undefended, we are not leaving it undefended. We will keep the home guard here, plus the new orbital defense platforms. Admiral Bennett, I want you to take everything else and hit them where it hurts. You mean Council Prime? Another admiral asked in shock. I mean Council Prime. Every Zinthari military base we can find and anything else that gets in our way. They wanted to see how aggressive humanity can be. Let us give them a demonstration they will never forget. Admiral Cooper objected. Madam President, that is suicide. The Council has thousands of ships and dozens of member species. We cannot possibly win against those odds. Maybe not, President Flynn agreed. But we can make them wish they never threatened us. And maybe we can rescue Admiral Pierce and our people while we're at it. She turned to the holographic display showing Earth's fleets. Admiral Bennett, you have your orders. Get everything ready. I want our fleets jumping into Council space in 3 days. Yes, Madam President. As the meeting ended, Bennett pulled Peter aside. I need you on my flagship. You have seen Council Prime's defenses with your own eyes. Sir, the Valiant needs repairs. The Valiant will get them. But first you are going to help me plan the biggest military operation in human history. Over the next 72 hours, Earth became like a beehive. Every shipyard worked day and night. Reserve soldiers were called up. Weapons that had only been ideas were rushed into production. All of humanity's factories turned toward one purpose: war. In the orbital shipyard called Construction Bay 7, the ESS Titan prepared for its first real mission. The ship was huge, twice as big as any other human ship. It was covered with weapons that used every lesson learned from studying alien conflicts. Captain Lisa Morgan walked around the Titan's bridge, checking every station herself. Her crew was new and most had never seen real combat, but they would learn fast or die trying. Captain Fleet Admiral Bennett is calling, her communications officer announced. Chris Bennett's face appeared on the main screen. Captain Morgan, in 3 hours you will lead the first wave of ships to Council Prime. Your mission is simple. Break their defenses and create an opening for the main fleet. Understood, sir. What about civilian casualties? Council Prime has millions of regular people who are not soldiers. We are not targeting civilians, Captain, but we are also not holding back because they are hiding behind them. The Council made this war, not us. We are just going to finish it. Yes, sir. As the channel closed, Lisa looked out at the gathered fleet, hundreds of ships representing all of humanity's military power, preparing to jump into the unknown. Her second-in-command, Commander Alan Price, joined her. Do you think we can actually do this? Lisa thought about Admiral Pierce, imprisoned and alone in enemy territory. She thought about the colonies burning, the civilians murdered, the betrayal of everything the Council claimed to stand for. I think we do not have a choice. Alan, if we do not stop them now, Earth will be next, and I would rather die fighting than wait for them to come kill us in our homes. Ma'am, we are receiving a transmission. It is from Council Prime. They are broadcasting it on all channels. The screen changed to show Admiral Jacob Pierce. He looked beaten and hurt, but his eyes were still strong. He stood before a council tribunal. Thaxor's voice came through the transmission. People of Earth, your admiral stands accused of violating council space and threatening galactic peace. The sentence is death, to be carried out in 1 week unless Earth surrenders all military forces and submits to council authority. Jacob looked directly into the camera. To whoever is watching this, do not negotiate with them. Do not give them anything. Come get us if you can. But if you cannot, do not let our deaths be in vain. Make them regret they ever heard the word human. The transmission ended. The bridge of the Titan was silent for a moment. Then Lisa spoke, her voice carrying to every crew member. You heard the Admiral. We are not negotiating. We are not surrendering. We are going to rescue our people and show the Council what happens when you betray humanity. All ships prepare for jump. We are going to war. Across the fleet, the message was received and understood. Earth's armada began to move, engines blazing as they accelerated toward the jump points. The Council thought they had won. They thought humanity was beaten. They were about to learn how wrong they were. The hammer was about to fall and nothing would ever be the same again. The Council Prime Defense Grid had been considered impossible to break for 300 years. It had overlapping shield generators, automatic weapons platforms, and 200 warships from a dozen different species always on guard. It was the most heavily defended place in the known galaxy. None of that mattered when Earth's fleet arrived. The first wave came out of hyperspace in a formation that had never been seen before. It was shaped like a massive wedge with the ESS Titan at the front point. Before the Council's sensors could even fully see them, Captain Lisa Morgan gave the order that would be remembered in history forever. All ships, fire at will. The Titan's main guns were massive railguns that shot tungsten slugs faster than anything in space. They fired first. The projectiles crossed the distance to the outer defense platforms in seconds. They smashed through shields and armor like they were made of paper. Behind the Titan, 150 other ships opened fire at the same time. The Council's automatic defenses tried to respond, but they had been designed to fight known enemies. Nobody had expected the pure, overwhelming firepower that humanity brought with them. First line of defense platforms destroyed, Commander Alan Price reported. Moving to second line. Good. Communications? Send our message on all Council frequencies. Across Council Prime, in the chambers where representatives from 47 species had gathered in emergency session, a single message played. This is Captain Lisa Morgan of the Earth Alliance ship Titan. You have 48 hours to release Admiral Jacob Pierce, Ambassador Linda Morrison, and all human prisoners. You will also stop helping the Zinthari and pay for the colonies you helped destroy. If you do not do this, we will reduce Council Prime to space debris. Representative Thaxor's bug mouth clicked in what the translator said was dismissive laughter. A bluff. They do not have the firepower to threaten this station. Sir, a council aide rushed to his side. The outer defense grid is gone. All 20 platforms destroyed, and I am reading multiple hyperspace signatures. More human ships are arriving. How many more? All of them, sir. Their entire fleet. Sensors say over 300 capital ships with support vessels. For the first time, doubt appeared in Thaxor's many eyes. The main fleet came out of hyperspace in waves. Each group appeared in a carefully planned position. At the center of the formation, flying from the bridge of the new flagship ESS Vengeance, Fleet Admiral Chris Bennett looked at the battlefield. Status report. Captain Morgan's first wave has secured the outer areas. Council Defense Fleet is moving to stop us, but they are disorganized. Looks like we caught them completely by surprise. Good. Send the Goliath to Sector 7. I want our second wave to focus on their command and control centers. If we can blind them, this fight is already over. Sir, we are receiving a transmission from Council Prime. It is Thaxor. The bug alien's face appeared on screen. He tried to look calm but was clearly afraid. Admiral Bennett, this attack violates every galactic law and treaty. Stop firing immediately or face the combined might of the Council's allied species. Chris leaned back in his command chair. Representative Thaxor, you betrayed humanity under the banner of peace. You armed our enemies and targeted our civilians. You hold our people prisoner and planned genocide. Do not talk to me about laws you have already broken. You cannot win this. Even if you destroy this station, the Council's fleets will hunt humanity to extinction. Maybe, Chris agreed, but you will not be alive to see it. Now, are you going to release our people, or do I need to come get them myself? The Council does not negotiate with terrorists. Then we are done talking. Chris closed the channel. All ships continue bombardment. Target their shield generators. I want this station cracked open in 2 hours. What happened next would be studied in military schools for generations. The human fleet moved with precision and coordination that shocked the Council forces. They had dismissed humanity as primitive and unsophisticated. They learned too late that humans had spent the past century studying every alien conflict they could find, learning from everyone's mistakes. The Council's defense fleet tried to form a defensive line, but human tactics broke them apart. Small, fast ships would dart in, forcing the defenders to chase them, while the big capital ships flanked and destroyed them with overwhelming firepower. It was not pretty, but it worked perfectly. On the station, Jacob Pierce heard the sounds of battle through his cell walls. The guards were getting nervous and leaving their posts as the sounds grew closer. "What is happening?" Linda Morrison asked from the cell next to his. "I think," Jacob said with a hard smile, "Earth just decided they had enough." Lieutenant Danny Cole, badly wounded but still alive, spoke from his cell. "Sir, if they are attacking the station, we need to be ready to move. Can you reach the lock controls?" Jacob looked at the energy barrier that sealed his cell. It was designed to be perfect, but the Council's engineers never thought about what a determined human might do. He began working at the control panel, using a piece of metal torn from his uniform. Outside, the battle raged. The ESS Titan had positioned itself directly in front of one of Council Prime's main shield generators. It was simply pounding it with everything it had. The shields flickered and finally collapsed. "Breach in Sector 12, Alan Price reported. Shield generator destroyed. Marines launch boarding parties, Lisa ordered. Objective: reach the prison level and secure our people. All other personnel are to be captured but not harmed, unless they fight back." Dozens of assault shuttles flew from the human ships toward the broken sections of Council Prime. The Marines aboard wore power armor and carried the latest weapons. More importantly, they had detailed maps of the station layout. Peter Hayes had given them everything he remembered. Inside the station, chaos took over. Council species that had never experienced war on their own territory ran in panic. The few security forces that tried to resist the human Marines found themselves hopelessly outmatched. Sergeant Kyle Turner led his squad through the corridors, following the route to the prison level. "This is Turner to all assault teams. We are approaching the target zone. Meeting light resistance, a plasma bolt flew past his helmet. Correction. Meeting moderate resistance." His squad returned fire with practiced efficiency. The Zinthari guards fell back, not prepared for the fury of the human assault. At the prison level, Jacob finally managed to break the lock. The energy barrier flickered and died. He immediately moved to Linda's cell, then Danny's, freeing them one by one. "What is the plan, sir?" one of the surviving Marines asked. "We get to the docking bays and steal a ship," Jacob replied. "Earth is here, but I do not plan on waiting around to be rescued." They moved through the corridors, avoiding the main battle zones until they heard the sound of human weapons fire nearby. "That is ours," Danny said, recognizing the distinctive sound of magnetic accelerator rifles. Jacob led them toward the sound. They turned a corner and came face to face with Sergeant Turner's squad. "Admiral on deck," Turner said, saluting even in the middle of a firefight. "At ease, Sergeant. What is your extraction plan?" "We have shuttles standing by at docking port 23, sir. But we are taking heavy fire getting there." Jacob checked the corridor ahead. "Then we will just have to fight our way through." "Marines on me. Let us get off this station." The combined group fought through to the docking port where human shuttles waited with engines running. As they boarded, Jacob looked back at Council Prime through the window. Parts of the station were on fire. Shields were down in multiple sections, and human ships moved through the debris field of destroyed Council vessels. "Admiral, this is Fleet Admiral Bennett. Good to have you back, Jacob." "Good to be back, Chris. What is our status?" "We have broken their defenses. The Council is asking for talks. Seems they are ready to negotiate now." Jacob's face became hard. No negotiations. Not until every person responsible for this stands trial, and not until the Zinthari fleet is destroyed." "I was hoping you would say that, because we are not done yet, not by a long shot." As Jacob's shuttle docked with the Vengeance, he looked out at Earth's assembled fleet. They had come here to rescue him. But more than that, they had come to send a message. Humanity would not be bullied, would not be betrayed, would not go quietly. The Council wanted to see humanity at its worst. Now they would learn that humanity's worst was more terrible than they ever imagined. 3 days after the assault on Council Prime, the Zinthari homeworld called Zinth hung in space before the assembled human fleet. It looked like a target waiting to be hit. Fleet Admiral Chris Bennett stood on the bridge of the Vengeance with Admiral Jacob Pierce at his side. They were ready to end this war once and for all. "Sir, the Zinthari Defense Fleet is moving to stop us," Commander Peter Hayes reported from Tactical. "I am counting about 400 ships. They pulled everything back to defend their home system." Jacob studied the tactical display. "They are making their last stand here. They know if they lose this battle, they lose everything. Should we offer them terms?" President Flynn asked from the secure channel connecting her from Earth. "What terms did they offer New Boston? New Seattle? New Portland?" Jacob replied quietly. "Madam President, these are the same people who were planning to destroy Earth, the same ones who tortured and killed 500,000 colonists." "I am not feeling generous," Chris nodded. "The Zinthari made their choice when they joined with the Council to kill us. Now they face the consequences. All ships move forward. Prepare to engage." The human fleet moved forward like a hammer falling. The Titan and Goliath led the way. Their massive forms made even the largest Zinthari battleships look small. Behind them came wave after wave of cruisers, destroyers, and frigates. Each one was crewed by men and women who had lost friends, family, or comrades to Zinthari attacks. The Zinthari Defense Fleet opened fire first. They launched thousands of plasma torpedoes in a desperate attack meant to overwhelm the human ships. But Earth's fleet had learned from Council Prime. Point defense systems tracked and destroyed the incoming missiles with ruthless efficiency. Then it was humanity's turn. All ships, free fire. "Pick your targets," Chris commanded. The space between the two fleets lit up with weapons fire. Railgun slugs, laser beams, missile swarms, and experimental plasma cannons all fired at once. The Zinthari had numbers, but the humans had rage, better technology, and tactics refined by years of studying every alien conflict. The first Zinthari line fell apart within minutes. "Their flagship is moving to the front," Peter reported. "It is the Dreadclaw, their supreme commander's personal ship." "Then let us introduce him to the Titan," Jacob said. "Captain Morgan, you are clear to engage." Aboard the Titan, Lisa Morgan had been waiting for this moment. The Zinthari Supreme Commander, Warlord Krax, had personally led the assault on New Boston. Her sister had died in that attack along with her sister's husband and 2 children. "Main guns target the Dreadclaw. Load kinetic penetrators. I want that ship opened up." The Titan's massive railguns aligned, their magnetic coils charged with enough energy to power a city. Then they fired. The tungsten penetrators crossed the distance in seconds, moving so fast they were invisible. The Dreadclaw's shields flared, held for a fraction of a second, then collapsed. The penetrators punched through the armor like paper, tearing through deck after deck, reactor after reactor. The Zinthari flagship died spectacularly. Its fusion cores went critical and vaporized the ship from the inside out. "Target destroyed," Alan Price confirmed. His voice carried satisfaction. But even with their flagship gone, the Zinthari fought on. They were a warrior species, and retreat was not in their nature. That cultural trait, which had made them such fierce opponents, now sealed their doom. The battle became a massacre. Human ships moved through the Zinthari formation like wolves through sheep. Their tactics and technology were simply better in every way. One by one, the Zinthari vessels fell. Soon the space around their homeworld was filled with debris and frozen bodies. "Sir, the planetary defense grid is turning on," Peter warned. "They are targeting our ships with ground-based weapons." Chris looked at Jacob. Both men knew what came next. "Take them out," Chris ordered. "All orbital weapons. Eliminate the defense grid." From orbit, the human fleet began destroying every military installation on Zinth. Shipyards, weapons factories, military bases. All of it turned to melted slag under the bombardment. The Zinthari had built their entire civilization around war. Now they watched that civilization burn. "Admiral, we are receiving a transmission from the surface," Karen Ross reported. "It is the Zinthari civilian government. They are asking to surrender. Put them through." An old Zinthari appeared on screen. His shell was gray with age. "I am Premier Vax, leader of the Zinthari Civilian Council. On behalf of my people, I beg you to stop this destruction. We surrender without conditions. Your military did not offer our colonies that option." Jacob replied coldly. "Our military does not speak for all Zinthari. Many of us opposed the war. But we were not listened to. Please, we have children here. Civilians who had no part in attacking your species. Jacob felt the weight of command settle on his shoulders. This was the moment that would define how history remembered humanity's response to betrayal and genocide. He could give the order to continue the bombardment and reduce Zinth to a lifeless rock. Part of him, the part that had watched good people die, wanted to do exactly that. But he was not Thaxor. He was not Warlord Krax. He was a human, and humans could choose to be better than their worst impulses. Cease fire, Jacob ordered. All ships, cease fire. Chris looked at him questioningly, but did not change the order. Jacob addressed the Zinthari Premier. Here are our terms. Your military will disband immediately. Every ship, every weapon, all of it surrendered to human forces. Your species will pay back the colonies you destroyed with labor, resources, and technology, and every single military leader who ordered attacks on civilian targets will stand trial for war crimes. We accept, Premier Vax said without hesitation. Anything. Just please stop the killing. Good. We will send down forces to secure the military facilities and begin processing surrendered personnel. Any resistance will be met with overwhelming force. Do you understand? Yes, Admiral. Thank you. Thank you for showing us more mercy than we showed you. As the channel closed, Chris put a hand on Jacob's shoulder. That could not have been an easy decision. It was not, Jacob admitted. Part of me wanted to destroy the whole planet. But that would have made us just as bad as them. We came here to stop a genocide, not commit one. Sir, Peter interrupted, we are receiving a transmission from Council Prime. It is Representative Thaxor. Now he wants to talk? Jacob said with dark amusement. Put him on screen. Thaxor appeared. Even through the translator, his fear was obvious. Admiral Pierce, Admiral Bennett. The Council wishes to discuss terms. I'm sure they do, Chris replied. Let me save us all some time. Here is what is going to happen. The Council will dissolve, effective immediately. Every species will return to governing themselves. The Zinthari War Crimes Tribunals will be conducted by human judges, and every Council member who participated in the conspiracy against Earth will stand trial. That is impossible. The Council has governed for 500 years. You cannot simply dissolve it. Watch us, Jacob said. You wanted to kill humanity because you thought we were too dangerous and too aggressive. Congratulations, you were right. We are dangerous, especially to those who threaten us. But we are also capable of mercy, something you never showed our people. The other species will never accept this. They will fight you. Then they will lose just like the Zinthari lost. Just like you lost, Chris said flatly. We just destroyed the most powerful military force in this sector in 3 days. How long do you think the rest of the Council species would last against us? And do you really want to find out? The threat hung in the air, unspoken but clear. Humanity had just proved they could defeat any force thrown at them. The question was whether the Council species were smart enough to accept the new reality, or stupid enough to force Earth to prove the point again. I will take your terms to the Council chambers, Thaxor finally said, but I cannot promise they will accept. You have 24 hours, Jacob said. After that, we start visiting other Council homeworlds, and we will not be as gentle as we were with Zinth. The transmission ended. Do you think they will accept? Peter asked. Jacob looked out at the damaged but intact Zinthari homeworld. They will, because for all their talk about humanity being aggressive and dangerous, they never understood the most important thing about us. What is that? Chris asked. We are only truly dangerous when we are cornered or betrayed. The Council did both. They created the very monster they feared, and now they have to live with the consequences. Over the next week, the human fleet remained in Zinthari space, watching the dismantling of their military. True to their word, Premier Vax and the civilian government cooperated fully. The military leaders who had ordered attacks on civilian targets were arrested and transported to holding facilities to await trial. The Council, facing the reality of Earth's military might, gave in. Thaxor and 15 other Council members were arrested on charges of conspiracy to commit genocide. The Council itself did not dissolve completely but was reformed as a purely advisory body with no military authority and no ability to dictate policy to member species. The galaxy had been turned upside down in less than a month, and humanity stood at the center of the new order. 6 months later, Admiral Jacob Pierce stood in the Memorial Garden on Earth. It was dedicated to the 500,000 colonists who had died in the